Good day and welcome to Predators Proclivity. I'm your host, Preston Proctor. This is the podcast where we look at data from the season for the NHL Nashville Predators and make comments upon it. I already introduced myself. I thought the last podcast I was a little scatterbrained, but I guess I guess that's just who I am now. Apologize. A little bit of drainage issues, so my voice is going to be a little bit off today. Hopefully, it won't be too bad. And anyway, I guess it goes along with Halloween. Happy Halloween! Boo! Yeah. So, boo, y'all. Right. So, happy Halloween. It is Thursday, and the Predators play tonight. Yes, so expect to see people dressed up. A lot of people dress up already when they come to the games, but maybe this time dressed up in Halloween outfits. So, there you go. Tonight, the Predators are home in Nashville to take on the Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers are 4-5-1 and 2-2 on the road. They are 7th in the Pacific Division with 9 points, tied with Anaheim, but lose that tie because they have more losses. Sad to say. Sad to see that. Their schedule to start out the season was 4 at home, 2 on the road, 2 at home, and 4 on the road. Some nice symmetry there. 4-2, 2 and 4. Home, road, home, road. Yeah, I kind of like that symmetry, frankly. They were 1-3 in the first 4 at home. Then they were 1-1 on the road. Then they were 1-0-1 at home. And then so far, 1-1 on this road trip. You probably heard Monday night they played in Columbus, and Connor McDavid was injured in the first, I think he said, played 37 seconds. So that's the big news there, and they're expecting him to be out of the lineup for 2 weeks. But anyway, that's this road trips. Just taking a look at, their East-West, Eastern Conference, Western Conference games. Interestingly enough, they've played 5 games each. In the East, they're 3-2, and in the West, they're 1-4. So they have a little bit better record against the Eastern Conference than the Western Conference. Well, they have a winning record against the Eastern Conference and a losing against the Western. That one win in the Western Conference was the earlier game against Nashville. Otherwise, they've lost all their games. Winnipeg, Chicago, Calgary, and Dallas. So, Skinner, their goaltender, Skinner, has played most of the games. He's 2-4-1. I said I pronounced his name Picard because of Star Trek, The Next Generation. Jean-Luc Picard. However, the announcers pronounce this other guy's name Pickard. So Pickard, goalie Pickard, is 2-1. He's played against Chicago, Nashville, and Detroit. Chicago was the loss. And he's my guess for tonight's game since he did play in the previous game and they got to win. So that's who I'm expecting to see in goal. Pickard. Again, roster changes. Since the October 17th game with Nashville, the most notable thing is that center Connor McDavid, is now on injured reserve to be out at least 2 weeks. They called up center Noah Philp and left wing Drake Caggiula. Cagiula. I'm going to go with Cagiula. They've called them up from the Bakersfield Condors. Bakersfield Condors, and that is Bakersfield, California. I had to look that up. I know a few years ago, the NHL kind of rearranged a little bit of who the minor league affiliate was. At the time, I believe it was the NHL did it because the number of the two LA area teams, Anaheim and LA. I know LA's direct minor team was in Canada, and they had issues at times getting backup recalling players because of customs. And then during and then in the COVID season, it didn't happen at all because they weren't crossing the border very often. So I know the Kings, their minor league affiliate is in Ontario, California, so a little bit easier there. And I forget where Anaheim's is now, but there was. I think it was even in the Eastern time zone. I forget. But anyway, so I was kind of surprised to see that Edmonton's minor league team was in California, but maybe that makes sense, a little bit more sense for the Canadian teams to have their minor league teams in the U.S. since more teams are down here, but they play more games in Canada. So I don't know, whatever works. But anyhow, they've called up a center and a left wing from Bakersfield. I'm assuming that's who one of those is going to be playing tonight. I don't know what the lineups are going to be. I guess other people's guesses is better than mine. Especially since I don't know. I guess they could look at the game notes or looked out there at Edmonton, but I guess we'll see. Probably depends on who skates the morning skate. Who they feel more comfortable with. Left wing Evander Kane is still on injured reserve, and so that's the primary injuries. As far as other notables playing at forward, we have ex-Predator Victor Arvidsson, who was an unrestricted free agent from L.A. And acquired by Edmonton in the offseason. He has 3 assists, which ties him for 4th. He has no goals so far this year. Leon Draisaitl is the guy that we really need to look out for. He's got 6 goals and 4 assists. He leads the team in goals and points. He's also 4th in time on ice with 21 minutes, and he's got the highest shooting percentage, goals to shots, at 23%. 6 goals on 26 shots. Connor McDavid won't be playing, but he has 3 goals and 7 assists. He leads the team in assists and points, and he's 5th on the team in time on ice in 20 minutes. But again, he won't be playing tonight. The person most likely to shoot the puck is Jeff Skinner, center Jeff Skinner. He's got the most shots, 36, with only 14 minutes time on ice on average. So he's got the highest ice to shooting ratio. So if somebody's going to take a shot, Jeff's the guy. So that's, those are the 2. Arvidsson used to play for the Preds. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have mentioned him. Draisaitl and Skinner. Draisaitl you'll see on the ice all night long, just about 21 minutes. It's over a period. That's a lot for a forward. And like I said, 4th and 4th time on ice. The top 2 are defensemen. No surprising there. But yeah, Jeff Skinner is if the puck gets shot, it's most likely Jeff Skinner to do it. And if its goal goes in, it's looking like Draisaitl. But defensemen. So notable defensemen. Travis Dermott, Travis Dermott. He was unrestricted free agent from Utah. He got a professional tryout, which resulted in a 1-year, 2-way contract. If I remember, 2-way contract. He can play at the major or minor level, and he gets paid differently depending upon. I think that's right. 1-way contract means he gets paid the same regardless of where he plays. 2-way contract, he gets paid different based upon whether he's playing in the majors or minors. So he did play 4 games, including the first 3 of the year. 2 of them he played with Emberson. So he's played in 4 games, and then Troy Stetcher or Ty Emberson. Those are the 3 defensemen that kind of are rotating through the one position. Stetcher was in the first Nashville game, so I imagine he will also be in the game tonight. All 4 games that Dermott played in were losses: Calgary, Carolina, Chicago, and Winnipeg. Defenseman Evan Bouchard is your time on ice leader at 24 minutes. He's also got 3 goals and 3 assists. He's 4th in points. And ex-Pred Matthias Ekholm, 2nd time on ice with 23, 2nd in assists with 6. And then Darnell Nurse has the most penalty minutes on the team, which is no surprise there. It's like his role primarily is just to annoy people. He seems to be pretty good at it. I'm annoyed just mentioning him. Tonight is the Oilers' 11th game of the year. Last year at this point, they were 2-8-1. 2-8-1. This year they are 4-5-1 at this point. The 11th game being tonight. And so, yeah, they're ahead of last year. And last year they did play in the Stanley Cup Finals. Tonight is their 5th game on the road. Last year they were 1-4 on the road in their 5th games. Their 5th game was a 6-2 loss in Vancouver. And so far they are 2-2 on the road. So again, they are ahead of last season. Their 5th road game was a loss, so why not duplicate that? You'd still be ahead of where you were last year. Tonight's game is the 3rd game of a 4-game road trip for the Oilers. They're 1-1 so far. Next, they play Calgary on Sunday, and then they get 2 at home, New Jersey and Vegas. Now for the Preds. The Preds are now 3-5-1. Remember when they were 0-5? They are 3-5-1, 2-4 at home. The Preds are in 7th in the Central Division with 7 points, tied with Chicago, but win that tie with less losses. Tonight's game is the first of 3 in Nashville, playing Edmonton tonight, Colorado on Sunday, and LA comes to town Monday. A little shout out to Anze Kopitar, got his 800th career assist last night. He got a goal and 2 assists in their win. 800 assists for Anze Kopitar. He will be here Monday. Yes, I will be at that game wearing my Kings gear. Not sure yet. We'll see. Kings are having a good season. The Preds need the win. Hoping for a good game. Something better than what we saw when Seattle came to town and we wore our Seattle gear and pulled for the Preds. Boy, that was... The only good news about that is that the game was over, and so we could get home and my high school teacher wife could get to bed so that she could get up at 6 and make it to school on time. Got to teach those kids. So it's nice that the game got over, effectively was over early. But yeah, so anyway, Edmonton tonight, Colorado on Sunday, and Los Angeles on Monday. I will be doing the podcast for Colorado tomorrow. I could do it on Saturday. I'm going to be a bachelor this weekend, but just do it tomorrow. Tonight is the Preds' 10th game of the year. Last season, after 10 games, they were 4-6. This year, they're 3-5-1. Not bad. Definitely turning the season around. You knew they were. You knew they were. They weren't not going to win a game. I expect they will have a number of winning streaks. Nice whistle. Let's see. So 3-5-1. Tonight is the Preds' 7th game at home, and last season they were 3-4 in the first 7 home games. The 7th game was a 2-3 loss to Anaheim. This season they are 2-4 at home, and after 7, I expect they will be 3-4. And that will look just like last year in some ways. Not how they got there. Okay, the Preds stats at home. The Preds are 2-4-0 at home, winning their last home game Saturday versus Columbus. In that game, there was no scoring in the first period. Columbus then got too early at 3:53 and 6:42 of the second, before Forsberg put Nashville on the board at 10:40. In the third period, Cole Smith tied the game in the first minute, and Columbus struck back less than 3 minutes later to go ahead again. Carrier tied the game with a goal just over a minute later at 4:09, and then no other scoring for the rest of the period. So we went to overtime. Finally, in overtime, Marchessault got his second goal with an assist by Skay and won the game. Listening to the announcers on the way home, they said that Marchessault broke both ankles of the defender, and I misinterpreted that. But just a turn of phrase. The guy was not injured on the play, but Marchessault really made a good move, and the guy just fell down. So in that game, the Preds did not get the first goal of the game. They lost one period, they tied one period, and won 2 periods. You win 2 periods, there you go. So far, the 3-5-1 Predators are 3-6 in getting the first goal overall. 1-2 when getting it. 1-2 when they get the first goal, they're 1-2. And those are all at home. They've not gotten the first goal on the road. 2-3-1 when they do not get the first goal. They are 1-2 at home. 1-1 away. So still early in the season. It's hard to have hard stats, but can look at trends. And so far, it's not. The first goal doesn't look all that relevant. Last year at this point, they were 4-6 getting the first goal overall, 3-2 when they got it, 2-0 at home, and 1-2 on the road. 1-4 when they did not get it, 1-2 at home, and 0-2 away. Take that for what it's worth. This far into the season, there still have been no ties in the second periods. The third period in Tampa was the first tie in the third period this year. And the Preds finally got a win in the first period at home against Boston. Last year, they were 3-2 in October at home. Tonight's matchup. Tonight is the second and last game against Edmonton here in Nashville. So the second game against Edmonton in Nashville. We'll play the only road game in Edmonton in 2 weeks. So we only played them 3 times. We play them, we'll have played Edmonton 3 times before the end of November. So we'll be done with Edmonton. Seems weird, but that's the way it's set up. Preds lost the one home game 1-6 last year, then won the first game in Edmonton in November and lost to them in January. So that's how it went last year. They played one game here in Nashville and they lost that game, and then they split the games in Edmonton. 2 weeks ago, when we last played Edmonton and Nashville, it was a 2-4 loss. Nashville got the first goal in the first period, with Edmonton getting a tying goal late in the period. The second period was a Predator sandwich, with Edmonton, Skinner, and McDavid getting one on either side of the Marchessault first goal as a Pred. There you go, Skinner and McDavid, Mr. Shooting Skinner. Shooting Skinner. We'll work on that. Brett Kulak completed the scoring with his second of the game and an empty netter with 36 seconds left. Nashville did get the first goal, tied the first period, and lost the other 2. So they tied 1 period, lost 2. At home last year, Nashville was 1-11 when they lost 2 periods, 6-8 when winning 1. 16-5-2 when getting the first goal at home. So last season, the first goal at home, if they got it, they were 16-5-2, a little bit better than a 3-1 advantage. Not seeing that yet. So interesting, 1-11 when they lost 2 periods last year. That game was a win against Pittsburgh. The Preds won the first by getting 2 goals. Then they lost the second and third, with Pittsburgh getting 1 goal each. So that's how we wound up in a tie and winning 1 period, losing 2. And then we won in overtime. The Preds lost in overtime in their last game, Tampa Bay, and Edmonton lost their last game in Columbus. So both teams tonight are coming in having lost their last game on the road, and one of those one-game losing streaks will end tonight. Again, you will not be seeing Connor McDavid, at least not skating. I'm sure the announcers won't have any trouble finding footage or talking about McDavid, so I'm sure we'll hear plenty about him. They can't help themselves. But there you go. So that's tonight's game in Nashville, at home against the Edmonton Oilers. It's going to be, should be a good game, should be a win. I'm expecting a win. I'm expecting to see Pickard in goal, and I'm expecting to see Skinner shoot the puck. I expect to see Nurse in a fight. And Draisaitl will probably get a goal. Draisaitl, yeah. So anyway, that's today. That's tonight. Y'all be safe out there. It's Halloween. And thanks for listening. I'm Preston Proctor, and you've been listening to Predators Proclivity.